All right, Tina, thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate your time. And today I would like to talk about a little bit about, how we work together and then how your journey was, how your journey looks like. It's like, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself and like why you actually came to apply to work with me?
Sure, it's really good to see you again. So we've been working together a lot. So a little bit about myself. So my name is Tina. I'm 43 years old. I'm a mom of two kids, two boys, and I have a full-time job. Um, my job mainly, I am a public speaker. I do advocacy. I do some research. So I'm an expert on certain topics like employment and skills and gender, the Asia Pacific region, for example. So I do have a lot of stakeholders that I work with. So I do have, I would say clients in a sense that I have a boss, I have a team, I have colleagues. I also have people that I work with in other organizations and also companies mainly. So it's a really high-paced, a strong-paced job. And it requires a lot of agility, a lot of trust where, you have people need to trust you in order to be able to carry out your work. So that, that's how our members, I work for an organization which is membership based, where members look at you to see if you can help them in terms of giving technical advice and guidance, basically. So it's a in a job where you really have to be in the right mindset, I would say. So we worked in a very interesting context because at that time I was really in a really dark place. I was really depressed. I would say I've been in that stage for 7 to 8 months. I was really feeling really, really stuck. I know I have the skills because I wouldn't be able to be at that job if I didn't have those skills. I have certification, I have experience, but there's something that was within me that I couldn't um, jump over. It's like a barrier internally and externally. At that time, I felt like it was more external rather than internal. I was, blaming people for reasons, why things happen the way they do. I was feeling very not motivated. And I gained so much weight. I had like 13 kilos on top of that, which was not really helpful. So it's like a bad cycle, you're stuck in a rut in a way. Um, and I felt, it was a really place where you even thought about like suicide, which is not a really good place because, I have kids, I have a husband, I have parents, I have siblings, I have friends who I love. So it was not, I knew that was not, taking my life was not a solution for me. There's no way I'm leaving that, at least for my two kids. Like, I don't want them to have that. I still have some energy in me to offer to them. And, I want to prove them that I could be resilient and I could, overcome this issue. So it's a big turmoil. I was overthinking a lot. I couldn't sleep well. I was taking a lot of sleeping pills just to help me sleep well, but it didn't really, help. And, my clients feel that, members feel that, my peers feel that. They can feel like at one point I even overheard someone saying, um, by accident, and I heard it by accident. Someone was saying, I was a bitter person. The word bitter. I'm not a bitter person. Like I know I'm always I'm like the life of the party. When I enter the room, I'm the one that people come to me because I know I'm funny. I've got a strong humor. People like I'm a happy person. I always see myself as a happy person, but I wasn't for those 9 months or whatever it is. And then one bad thing happened after another. I was looking for another job. I keep getting rejected. So I felt really unwanted, and alone. And I just couldn't get out of it. So I tried everything, obviously, like, tried to go for walks, go for like 10,000 steps. I also, met a real doctor, a therapist, like who is qualified to help me, psychologically. But even then, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for because I know I'm not biologically ill. I know I'm not physically ill. Okay, I gain weight, but I know, I'm not, I don't have, an illness in terms of like I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have, anything to do like health wise with my body. I know I'm not ill. So I know it's up here. And then at that point I was willing to try anything. And then I came across your when you're in that you're overthinking, you kind of your coping mechanism is to go on Instagram and you go doom
Yeah.
scrolling, right? But for some reason I have to be grateful for the algorithm because it brought me to your page and I was checking out your page, and each time there's a story that came up, it just brought me to tears, like, oh my God, this is exactly how I was feeling. I was you were saying things that I was going through. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it a go. I'm at that point where like seeing a doctor doesn't help. My existing network system is not helping me,
Mm.
so I'm willing to take the leap and go. And then of course you always have this doubt, like, oh, can I trust this person? Can this person really help me in my situation? He has like a gazillion followers. There's no way he could give me some attention and like help me focus on working myself. But I was at that point, I said, uh, I'm just gonna take that risk and jump at that opportunity. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you know what? I'll try something else. And then so we went through coaching, and you gave me tips. In the beginning, I think I was just not hesitant. I mean, I was just mentally like blocking it. I was just like my energy was blocking your help in a way. I was not open
Mm.
to your help. So, but I think by the third or fourth coaching session, I think I slowly brought down the walls around me because I think I was just trying to protect myself. Like, oh, no one can
Right.
help me. So, there's no way like, anything could help at this point.
Mm. So
But
sorry to
slowly.
interrupt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had this like internal blockages to even get a help. Like even though you already put yourself in a situation where you invested money and in time, and then you're going through the program, you're doing the session, but there's like internal beliefs or like the blockages that basically saying in your head like, well, no one can help me, or like not taking the hands.
Mm, exactly. And only that, my external friends, I would say, they were also saying, are you sure this is a good idea? What if it's a scam?
Oh,
Like
okay.
there's so many internet scammers out there and things. I'm like, no, I trust this person. I'm gonna give it a go. And there are also people trying to block me. They're trying to stop me from
Mm.
from giving a try. So, and these are people I trust, so like, are you sure, like, like this guy has a lot of like 1 million followers, like, are you sure, so they're also not just internal blockage but external blockage, like their doubt. So I doubt myself because I trust these people, right? So but that doubt slowly dissipated because I went through your course, and of course I had to do the work. I
Mm.
can't expect you to do the work for me. I have to do that internal work for me. I'm not like, I think I came with a view like, oh yeah, he's gonna give me the plate of solution, and I'm gonna eat that solution and I'm fine. It's resolved. I fix myself. No, you have to do the work. You actually have to do the hours. You can't like, oh yeah, I'll do it on Sunday, or like I'll do it next week. No, you encourage me in a gentle way, but you also push me. You have this expectation and I have to meet that expectation because we did have that agreement, when I signed up with the program. I also have to do that work. So there's that expectation for me to also deliver on myself. Of course, you're not expecting like, it would be a miracle to resolve myself, but slowly but surely within the work, I found I know it sounds so dodgy, but like the light at one point because I was really in a dark place. And good vibes is not something I think you can buy. Good vibes is a result of the work, the internal work that you have. It means you're internally
Yeah.
at peace with yourself. I've always been so kind with other people, but I've never been kind to myself. And this program taught me to be kind to myself, and you're doing your best. So I slowly transform from someone who's rejected, someone who's feeling depressed, someone who's feeling alone, even if I'm surrounded by a lot of people that I love, to someone who's positive. And I think as a result, I also, not that I think, I know I inspired other people as well.
Hmm.
They were telling me, what happened? Did you go to the gym? Did you like, you completely changed to where you were? I mean, from a bitter person to where
Yeah.
you are now. And of course, I at the same time, because I was in a good place, I slowly lost the weight because I was happy. I was not stress eating. I was enjoying my time with my kids. I'm
Yeah.
moving more, and I'm trying all these kind of things that I wouldn't have tried before. Since then, I got promoted, which is, I know it's important because I didn't feel like I was paid according to the work that I put in.
Hmm.
But then I got promoted. So basically it was, I would say I got 2,000 more per month than I did before. And at the end of the year, I get like a bonus for like 6,000 more. So I wouldn't have gotten that if I didn't have, like, I would say, the positive vibes. Because I had positive vibes, my colleagues would always speak highly of me to my boss or to people who decide on this promotion. They're like, "Oh, Tina will do a great job on that. Ask her to do it." So it's a buildup of so financially, I feel like I'm also achieving more than I would have if I didn't. So it's not just about like feeling good about myself. Actually, all that does result in financial gain as well. So I felt like it was an investment, not just money wise, but also invested in my own skills. Like I was telling you that I'm a public speaker. I would always stress out like, oh my God, there are like 200 people in this room. I'm gonna say something stupid. Do you overthink, before your session. But now I'm at that point where no one's gonna remember what you said. Like, like people remember how you make them feel when you speak,
Hmm.
but no one's gonna exactly remember 1 week or 2 weeks from now the substance. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, she said this about employment, and that was a good point. I don't think people remember that. People remember the vibes that you give off. Like,
Yeah.
okay, she is really an expert. So if there's anything on employment, let's go to her. So it's this kind of like vibe. So I don't freak out anymore when I go public speaking in front of like 200, 500 people, whatever it is. It's the same as I would have if I spoke in front of like two people in the room, right? So it's like those kind of skills, like you wouldn't be able, of course you have the ability to speak publicly, you have the ability to be persuasive or whatever it is in your expert topic, but the vibes that people give off, like that's people remember. And then um the lessons that I learned from you, I think of two things, and I won't give too much away. One was, when you're speaking publicly, speak slowly. And I think it's because my vibes is off. I'm always panicking. So I talk fast.
Mm.
I talk fast, and I'm in a hurry because I feel like no one would listen to me. No, that's not true. You're there. There's a reason why you're there. People see you as an expert in your topic. So take your time and speak and don't rush. So that's one tip. And another tip that I got from you, and I remember crying because I think I had an issue with my best friend. She was ghosting me, and I was crying all the time on, wherever, in the car, before going to sleep, whatever. And then you said to me, Tina, when you overthink, try to move, jump up and down, scream, do jumping jacks, whatever it is, move, because once you move, your body just, you stop overthinking automatically, naturally. And just that one tip of all the thousands of tips that you gave me really helped me stop crying, like stop feeling sorry for myself. Like, stop it, Tina. It's like, it's not, it's not worth it. You can cut off all these toxic people. You don't need them and they don't need you. So, and it's not even hate show. Like at that time, I was so angry at these people that I was hating on them. And then now I'm at that point where I'm at peace and like, oh, it was for a good reason. We were friends for a certain period, and there's a reason for it. But then as you progress as a person, as you grow as a person, you can't take them with you because you're now elevated. So you need a new set of people who can be at the same vibe, at the same mindset as you. So it's just I don't hate them anymore. Like before, I was like, oh God, like I hope something bad happens to them, or. But no, it's more like it is what it is. You do your thing, I do my thing, and I'm happy for you. Like thanks for the friendship, thanks for the memories when we were friends.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, like who you are becoming. Like in my coaching, the most important thing, even though we focus on the financial and the business and this, influence, it's who you are. The reason why people trust me, the reason why I am who I am and I have the impact and influence is because of who I am, not what I do or how well I do. Because people tend to focus on that part, right? How am I going to do it? How am I going to achieve this and X, Y, Z, and all these external factors. But it's about who you are. So who you becoming is the most important thing. That's why your environment changed. The toxic environment changed, and then people look at you differently, and then people treat you differently, and how you feel is different, right? So like everything external and internal changes when you become that person. And then you really portray that such a great way because the friendship, because some people have that successful life, but miserable in the friendship life or like relationship, right? But you can have everything. You can be successful in a relationship. You can be successful in a friendship. You can be successful just like being yourself. You can love yourself, and you can also, build a business or be the better entrepreneur or coaches or whatever. And I think you nailed it. Well, the first thing is that, even though I didn't know that you had the resistance that like getting help. And I think, but a lot of people experience that, right? Like some people like also catch myself kind of like judging the people who I learn from, but then always like reminding myself to like, hey, like I'm here to learn, just humble myself and learn it and receive whatever I can learn, whatever I can receive. But I think it's kind of like a human nature that there's always a resistance in the beginning to receive the help or to receive that, teachings. But, you did the work and it's it's magical that like actually witnessing it next to you, just like cha making a change and like hearing from you, like every week and every other month, and it's like, hey, show, like I did this, like it's like, whoa, it's like it's the one of the most beautiful thing to experience. I think that's what I do, because it's just so fulfilling, and there's nothing better than that. Like it doesn't matter your client, friends, your family, when you receive something good news from somebody, so you genuinely feel amazing. So, like, what do you think that the shift? When do you think that shift happened? Like something clicked within you?
I would say there's something throughout the program. There was one experience that I just couldn't. It was so profound, show. Like it was just so profound, and I think that's when it clicked. Of course, you gave us a lot of things, and I was trying so many things. Some work, some didn't work internally because sometimes you start something, you're like, well, I don't think it would work. Sometimes you give it a go and you don't, and sometimes you try it for the first time and you're like, okay, it's okay, it's not. So meditation was one of them. So
Mm.
I'm always being a big kind of like doubter of meditation because when people you see it on Instagram, you're like, oh yeah, people meditate, you always have this impression like, oh yeah, like kumbaya, like all this like zen thing. You're like, nah, like that's not gonna work for me. No, 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 I'm not. I was very, very critical of people who meditate, or not people who meditate, but meditation itself. Like I didn't think it would be so profound. because you see it everywhere. So if everyone does it, it can't be special, it can't be. So and then so when you told me to meditate, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. So, I watch you on your videos, like, okay, you feel good after. But there was one particular meditation session which was really profound in my experience from the whole, and I'm talking about like in general. So there's one audio one that you did specifically for your clients. It's not on YouTube or anything like that. And I wanted to beat this trauma that I had, I would say 20 years ago when I just moved here. I worked at this place, and this person was a bully,
Mm.
a really bad bully, like spreading bad rumors about me to other colleagues, in my country, and even the place where I'm working here, which was not true. It, and then she made me feel stupid and incompetent, and basically cut me off from the rest of the team and like put me on the side. It was a very traumatizing, I would say, experience. But then I remember you said, okay, Tina, you have this assignment today. You're very casual about it because I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll do it. We have assignments every week, right? So this one is like, okay, make sure you drink lots of water, you go to the bathroom before you go, and then like just dedicate 1 hour where you're completely alone and completely, calm, where you have no people interrupting you. It's a quiet moment. So, I waited for the kids to sleep. I locked myself in my home office, and then I was ready to do this particular meditation using your audio, right? Um, it was that for me that was crazy because I was not expecting that, how transformative that meditation was. And after that, I felt free. I really felt free. I really felt I would say, I wouldn't say reborn because I was not reborn, but I felt like I was a completely healed
Yeah.
person.
I think you
Yeah.
were in a way that you reborn because so what you experienced
Mm,
was you letting go the old version of yourself, which is like this with the past trauma and the most past thinking. It's also that
mm.
your lack of self-confidence or the experience that you had basically conditioned your mind to think certain way or not to value yourself, not to take care of yourself, right? And letting go of that version of yourself that allowed you to step into the new version, which is the full potential of Tina, and be able to like feel fully and confident and just be proud so that you can tap into your skills because you're a very skillful individual. You're elite from my perspective, but you weren't using that in the right way. You were feeling more smaller than your actual capacity. But because you let go of that, old version of the Tina, you finally became the most authentic version of yourself and like be able to tap into all the potential that you already had from before.
Absolutely. And that's something I don't think money can buy, honestly. So, like you can, if I had $1 billion, I would pay $1 billion to get over that period, because it was just for me. I was really hurt. I was really hurt. And I blamed this person for all the pain. And she didn't even give a shit about it, right? So that makes it even more painful. And it was just, I just realized from the program that I can't count on people to be happy. I have to count on myself.
Hmm.
And that's something I really discovered. I really discovered that about myself. And I'm not just saying that, okay, because of the program, I'm now like, I stop improving myself. No, it's because of the program I continue to improve myself. I'm always trying to find my, like right now, I'm always trying to find a project for myself. So my project now is waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I've never
Wow.
been a morning person. Yeah, now I've been doing that for 2 months now. Waking at 5 o'clock. So I do my walk, I do my meditation, I do my journaling, and I start my day already in a good mood. So when I come to the office, I'm like, hey, good morning. Like I have really good vibes.
Mm.
So I'm continuously improving myself because I know the program, like the program made me see I have the potential. The program really opened up many opportunities for me, really many opportunities for me. And I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop to continuously improve myself because I know it's good for me and my own mental health. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I met the an amazing woman. Her name is Elena. She's very famous in the yoga industry, but she's in age of like middle in the middle of the 50, I believe. But she looks like 40, and she said to me that like you got to lift your heavy shit, and she's like literally you got to lift a heavy shit. But she does like liftings, like she goes to the gym, lift heavy shit quite literally. But it's so important that, and she said like every year I feel better. Life gets better every single year that you age. Not everyone can say that. Actually, if you're living in the majority of the people in a society, nobody says those kind of things. It's the people who are always working on themselves knows how amazing to just simply just keep going even if it's slower than others, just like every step of the way, and then you grow financially and then you grow as an individual, and that's the person you're becoming, and then you imagine that, oh, like this is who I wanted to be, but then 10 years later you're even better, right? That's the influence that comes from it, the vibe, if I use your word, that it changes the reality. It changes pretty much everything, right? Friendship, and people respect you, people look up to you, people come to you with that positive energy rather than just like bringing in a negative energy and then like throwing at you and betraying you and all that kind of shit. But because of that, the energy you hold, because of that energy you become as, it's just you attract exactly like your energy.
I learned that from your show at the very beginning. You the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the energy, the vibes is just so on point. And I think people are attracted to that. I mean, I've never I'm always getting like these days messages like, oh wow, I love your energy when you're on the
Mm.
stage. I hope in 10 years time when I'm in your position, I would like to be like you. I've never heard that before. No one ever told me they want to be like me. Like okay, I'm like okay, but be yourself. I mean, yeah. I'm like,
That's amazing.
all these, yeah, young people come to me and say, "Oh my God, I love your vibes." It's just so, and we have new people in my organization. They said, "I want to be like you. You're a good leader." I'm like, no one ever told me that. I'm a good leader, me? Like I feel like I'm a clown in the organization. I'm always making jokes, but
Hmm.
apparently, humor is also associated with good leadership in a
I
way
think I
because
think that's the best part because you don't like, tell everybody like I'm a good leader. What do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you don't act like these cokey attitude, but you just, so comfortable because confidence is, you being comfortable. Right? If you're not comfortable in
absolutely.
in in that situation, that means you're not confident. Right? You're comfortable on the stage, you can make jokes and you're comfortable being who you are. And that's why you don't need to pretend that you are the big deal, like whatever it is. I'm comfortable too. I'm comfortable whatever I do. Some people disrespect me. That's fine. I don't need to prove myself because I'm comfortable. And then I can see that why that people come to you and then tell you that because you don't care. I'm just like, having fun here. But that feeling
Yeah.
comfortable is a true confidence.
Yeah, and they say like, "Oh, how do you do it?" Every time you're a mom, you have two boys, you have a full-time job, you travel like crazy for work, I mean, for work. Um, how do you do it? Is it possible to have it all? Well, you know what? I thought it was impossible, but it's possible. I mean, I'm not there yet. I always feel like there's always ways to be, to improve, and there's so many things to learn. But you can do well in your if you focus on your what you decide. You have to decide first what
Yeah.
you want, what your projects are, your projects, on what you want to improve. And it is possible to have the best of, both worlds. You can be a mom and also be a good mom and also a good professional. It's possible. And at the same time, you can have fun with it. And the answer I always get, like, because they always say, they come with, like, can you give me tips? I'm like, oh, give me tips on how to be a good mom. And also because like someone was pregnant and like, oh, and then like also be a good professional. I'm like, you know what? You don't need notes. Just like wing it. Like you just like that's my motto was like at the time, like wing it through life. I say that, but I know there's work behind it.
Mm.
There really is work behind it, and it's from here. You don't, because if you continue to let other people judge you and you seek validation, then that's when you lose yourself. I mean, I'm always constantly looking like how many likes did I get on Instagram? Like, no, I'm not like, okay, if people like it, they like it. But it's more for me, and like I do my cool thing, like I do my own thing, it's for my memory. I put on my Instagram all the things I'm doing, but it's for me. It's for my
Mhm.
own memory. Like, oh, I remember I did that. That was a good memory. That was a good moment. I did that with cool people. So it's more for me and not to get validation from other people. And that's another thing that I learned from you among a gazillion things that I learned from you as well. So it's really like I could go on and on and on for like 10 hours, 12 hours talking about what I achieved from your program. But in a gist, I mean, I really can't put words into, I can't really describe how I feel from that. I feel like my mindset it's in a healthier place. I'm no longer in a dark place. Of course, there are moments where you're not in a bad mood, or there are moments where things don't go your way. But you can always get up again. And that's what I learned from this experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. And it was really nice to catch up with you again. So thank you.
Anytime at
Yes.
all. And if any of your potential clients or anybody who wants to get personal, inputs or remarks from me, I can really give them my honest opinion. I'm not paid by you or anything for this for this testimony. I'm more than happy. When you ask me, I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, of course, anything I can do to help you because you helped me, anything, you let me know. So if any of your clients have hesitation, don't hesitate to connect them with them, and I can really give them my honest feedback on
Thank
that.
you very much. I by the way, I still use the pen that you gave me every morning doing my journaling. This is
Excellent.
how
I'm
I journal,
glad.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, thank
good,
you so
good.
much. Oh, and then
Journaling
I
is so
use
important.
yeah, and then I use the wallet too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Tina.
Good.
Thank you for your time. And now well, we stay in touch.
Always, anytime at all.
All
All
right,
the best.
beautiful. Thank you very
Thanks so
much.
much.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.